So I hadn't heard a lot of JID except for his newer stuff, and I'm a huge fan of his newer stuff. And someone hopped in my live stream and said, "Hey, you need to listen to DiCaprio too, and some of his older work." So that's what I did. This is my thoughts on DiCaprio 2 by JID, his album from 2018. And let's dive into it. Again, I'm keeping it in the shorter format. Let's start with my favorite tracks. Westbrook, 151 Rum, Off the Zoinkies, Working Out, Tide, and Hasta Luego. Those are my favorite tracks on this album, and they fit into some of my playlists somewhere, or just the overall production and everything on it really impressed me. 6 tracks that I really liked from this album. Let me briefly run through some of my critiques on this album. Ones that just did not really work for me: Despacito 2, Just the Other Day. Off D's is pretty rough. It's very repetitive from JID. JID is actually the worst part of this. It's a quirky flow that he tries. It does not land. The flow is monotonous. J. Cole's verse is pretty enjoyable, but it also keeps with the same flow to a degree. Off D's is overrated. And I had heard it before. It's really not that good in his discography. One thing I did notice, and I pointed this out before, is you can notice his maturity in his lyrics is not anywhere close to where it is now in his current work. These are still very impressive flows and rhythms and rap melodies, but the maturity in his lyrics is just not there. They're very surface level, and it doesn't really sound that different from your average rapper. It's still good, still really good, but I'm comparing him to what I know now. So in my ratings for reviewing this album, I'm not going to include intro tracks or skits. I don't think that's fair. I will keep them in mind for the overall cohesion of the album. But for the actual rating, it won't affect it that much. So, excluding the outro, that's 13 tracks. There were 8 out of the 13 tracks that I thought were good, solid tracks and deserved a spot on this record. And then that leaves 5 songs that just probably didn't need to be here, were kind of stinkers and outcasts. Anyways, what does that bring my rating to? That brings my rating to a 6.15, or I'm going to make that a 6.2, rounding up. So my rating of DiCaprio 2 by JID, do you agree with it? You let me know. Also, what should I review next? Leave it in the comments, and hope to see y'all later. Bye.